sinister stories.
In the heart of a sprawling city, where fame and fortune shone brightly, lived a famous actor named Olivia. Her name adorned billboards, and her face graced the covers of magazines. But despite her success, she yearned for the simplicity of genuine human connection. And so, when Olivia moved into a charming townhouse nestled among the bustling streets, she was cautiously optimistic about her new neighbor. The neighbor, whose name was Evelyn, welcomed Olivia with a warm smile and a plate of freshly baked cookies. Evelyn was unlike anyone Olivia had met before. She treated her with kindness, not a trace of starstruck awe in her eyes. They bonded over their shared love for art and coffee, and soon their conversations flowed effortlessly. It was a breath of fresh air for Olivia, who had grown weary of superficial interactions. Days turned into weeks, and Olivia found herself texting Evelyn regularly. They exchanged jokes, shared stories, and even confided in each other about their dreams and fears. One sunny afternoon, an invitation arrived from Evelyn. "Come over for a casual get-together at my place, just some friends and good conversation." Intrigued by the prospect of a laid-back evening, Olivia arrived at Evelyn's door with a sense of anticipation. As Evelyn greeted her, she handed Olivia a glass of wine and ushered her inside. What Olivia saw, however, left her speechless. The living room was filled with people, not just a few, but a substantial crowd. Faces she recognized from movie posters, award shows, and tabloids stared back at her. Olivia's heart pounded in her chest as she navigated the sea of unfamiliar faces. She attempted to maintain a composed exterior, engaging in conversations with those around her. But the more she spoke, the more her unease grew. She recognized actors who had passed away years ago, celebrities who had vanished without a trace. Feeling her anxiety rise, Olivia approached Evelyn, hoping for an explanation. "Isn't that the actor who disappeared last year?" she asked, her voice trembling. Evelyn's eyes sparkled with an enigmatic glint as she replied, "Time has a funny way of unraveling, my dear." As the evening wore on, Olivia's discomfort intensified. She noticed glances exchanged among the guests, whispering secrets that felt just beyond her grasp. A surreal air hung over the room, and Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that she was stepping into a distorted reality. Desperation gnawed at Olivia's insides as she searched for an exit. The room seemed to shift around her, corridors stretching and doors eluding her grasp. Panic welled up as she realized that she was trapped, ensnared in a web of uncertainty. Approaching one of the guests, an actor whose name she recognized from old film posters, Olivia ventured, "Excuse me, are you—" The actor's smile broadened as he nodded, confirming her suspicion. Olivia's heart raced as she questioned, "What happened to you? Everyone thinks you're dead." A knowing glint danced in the actor's eyes as he leaned in and whispered, "In a way, we are. This is a place where time and reality intertwine, where the forgotten and the famous converge." Shock coursed through Olivia's veins, her world spinning. She stumbled backward, her mind reeling from the revelation. Her chest tightened, and she felt a profound sense of loss, a feeling that she too had become a part of this strange tapestry. Frantically, Olivia attempted to find an escape, her breaths coming in shallow gasps. She felt the room closing in on her, a sinister force compelling her to confront a nightmarish truth. As her vision blurred and her surroundings twisted, Olivia's gaze landed on Evelyn, who stood at the center of it all. With a surge of determination, Olivia fought to regain control. She would not succumb to this twisted illusion, to the whims of a malevolent force. Summoning all her courage, she met Evelyn's gaze, a defiant fire burning within her eyes. As the room spun around her, Olivia steadied herself and confronted her tormentor. "I won't be a part of your sick game," she declared, her voice unwavering. Evelyn's smile faltered for a moment, her facade cracking under Olivia's unwavering resolve. But as the seconds ticked by, the smile returned, more chilling than ever. "My dear," she purred, "you already are." The room's disorienting swirl intensified. reality warping around Olivia. Desperation fueled her determination, and she clung to her sense of self amidst the chaos. As the walls closed in, the faces of the famous and forgotten blurred together, a sinister tableau of souls ensnared in Evelyn's sinister trap. In that moment, the pieces clicked into place, and Olivia realized the extent of her predicament. The drink she had accepted wasn't just a glass of red wine. It was a potion of death, a key to the purgatory. The seemingly innocuous gathering, it had all been an elaborate ruse. Panic surged within her as she realized the gravity of her situation. A chilling certainty settled over her. Evelyn had orchestrated this macabre soiree, a gathering of souls ensnared in a time-bending trap.
In the sprawling city of dreams, where the glitz and glamour of Hollywood beckoned, lived a young man named Eric. From a tender age, Eric had envisioned himself gracing the silver screen, his name etched in the annals of cinematic history. With stars in his eyes and an insatiable hunger for fame, he embarked on a journey that he believed would change his life forever. Packing his car with a few belongings, aspirations, and a heart full of determination, Eric left behind the familiar and ventured to the City of Angels. Bidding farewell to his family, he hit the open road with a mix of excitement and trepidation. His dreams painted vivid images of his face on billboards, his name whispered in awe by adoring fans, and his talents showcased in blockbusters and commercials. Yet upon his arrival in Hollywood, the glittering facade began to crack. Auditions were a ruthless battleground, where the competition was fierce, and Eric found himself struggling to stand out amidst the sea of hopefuls. The promises of overnight stardom seemed like a distant mirage. Instead of red carpets and applause, he found himself sharing a cramped two-bedroom apartment with 7 strangers, each chasing the same elusive dream. Months turned into a harsh reality of rejection emails and closed doors. Eric's desperation grew, his bank account dwindled, and his hope began to waver. Just when the darkness of despair seemed to envelop him completely, an email arrived. An invitation to a midnight audition at an undisclosed location. The prospect of finally making his mark rekindled his dwindling flame, and without hesitation, he agreed to attend. The night was shrouded in an eerie silence as Eric arrived at the specified location. An old theater, its grandeur now faded, loomed before him. Nervously, he stepped inside, the scent of nostalgia mingling with his apprehension. There was an eerie aura, a sense of the uncanny that made his skin prickle. Inside the theater, the atmosphere was heavy with anticipation. But as Eric looked around, he realized he was the only one present. An unsettling feeling crept over him, and he began to question the authenticity of the invitation. Before he could retreat, a single spotlight illuminated the stage, casting him in its glow. A voice, chilling and disembodied, resonated through the space. "Welcome, Eric," it intoned. "You seek stardom, a chance to captivate the world. But there is a price, a performance that must be given." Confusion swirled within Eric's mind as the voice instructed him. Each word dripped with malevolence, and a shiver ran down his spine. He couldn't discern where the voice originated, and the darkness beyond the spotlight seemed to swallow everything. "Act, Eric," the voice commanded. "Embrace the characters within you, the emotions you've hidden. Act or die." The fear that gripped Eric's heart outweighed his confusion, and he complied. On that darkened stage, he delivered a performance like none before. He portrayed characters from all walks of life, channeled emotions he'd scarcely explored, and tapped into his deepest vulnerabilities. The stage became a canvas for his artistry, as he bared his soul to the haunting presence that watched over him. Hours melted away, the lines between reality and fiction blurred. Eric lost himself in his roles, in the emotions that surged through him. With each scene, the voice's instructions grew increasingly cryptic, demanding more of him than he believed he could give. And yet, a sinister allure kept him ensnared in its grip. As the night wore on, exhaustion gnawed at Eric's bones, his breaths labored and vision hazy. In his weariness, he began to notice a shift in the atmosphere. The air grew colder, the shadows deeper, and a pervasive feeling of malevolence seemed to pervade the very air he breathed. And then, As if a veil had been lifted, the spotlight faded, plunging the stage into darkness. Eric stood alone, disoriented and trembling. The voice was gone, replaced by an oppressive silence that weighed on his chest. Panic surged within him as he fumbled for his phone, its weak glow casting eerie shadows. But as his phone illuminated the space around him, he recoiled in horror. The theater, once grand and majestic, now lay in ruins. The seats were tattered, the curtains torn, and a thick layer of dust covered everything. The air was stagnant, the scent of decay overpowering. Dread settled over Eric as he realized the truth. The theater he had stepped into had long been abandoned, its existence reduced to a haunting memory. The voice that had guided him through his performance, the presence that had demanded his very essence, had disappeared into the night. The reality of his situation hit him with a gut-wrenching force. The promises of fame had led him down a treacherous path, one that had ensnared him in a nightmarish performance. He was alone, trapped in a forsaken theater that seemed to embody his shattered dreams. As Eric's heartbeat echoed in the darkness, he felt an oppressive weight settle upon his shoulders. The theater's silent emptiness was a stark reminder of the price he had paid, the choices that had led him to this harrowing juncture. In the grip of despair, he knew he had been lured by something far darker than ambition, a malevolent force that reveled in his desperation and devoured his innocence. With every step he took, the theater seemed to stretch endlessly before him, its vastness an eerie reflection of his own uncertainty. As his voice joined the chorus of echoes that filled the void, Eric understood that he was both performer and spectator, trapped in a macabre tale that had spiraled beyond his control. As the first light of dawn broke through the cracked windows, Eric's silhouette lingered in the dimness. The theater stood as a silent witness to his descent into darkness, a chilling reminder that some ambitions can lead to a fate far more terrifying than any Hollywood horror story.